Do we truly understand our history? Or is it possible that the stories we've been told are just the surface of a much deeper, more complex narrative? Consider the idea that a significant portion of our history might have been intentionally or unintentionally erased, leaving us with a version of the past that's incomplete at best. What if I told you that the marvels of electricity and flying machines, often thought to be the achievements of the post-18th century world, actually existed way before we ever imagined? This video is about challenging the conventional timeline of technological and societal advancements. It's about opening your mind to the possibility that our ancestors were far more advanced than we give them credit for. If you've always believed that history is a linear progression of discovery and innovation, it's time to think again. So, get ready to have your perspective on history turned upside down. First of all, we have the Dendera Light Mystery. Imagine walking into an ancient Egyptian temple and seeing something that looks a lot like a modern light bulb. Sounds impossible, right? Yet in the Temple of Dendera, there's a fascinating image that has caught the eye of many. It shows a snake inside something that looks a lot like a big bubble or bulb coming out of a lotus flower. This whole setup is supported by a pillar that's made up of human arms. What's really mind-blowing is that this ancient drawing seems very similar to a Crookes tube, which is an early version of a light bulb. But this wasn't invented until the 19th century. This has led some smart people to think that maybe, just maybe, the ancient Egyptians weren't just building pyramids. They might have known about electricity way before the rest of the world did. The image in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera could be showing us that Egyptians had figured out electricity and were using it in their day-to-day lives. When we look back at history, we find other hints that ancient people knew about electricity, like the Baghdad battery from Mesopotamia and some of the stuff the ancient Greeks were into. But the Egyptians, they might have taken it to a whole new level. Now, when archaeologists dug around the temple, they found some leftovers that show the Egyptians used some strange devices. The big question is, were these just regular oil lamps, or is there a chance they had something more advanced going on? The Dendera light throws a big curveball at what we thought we knew about the past. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the people walking around in ancient Egypt were lighting up their world in ways we can barely imagine. This mystery isn't just a small puzzle. It's a giant question mark over our understanding of ancient technology. It makes us wonder if there are other advanced things they were doing that we just haven't figured out yet. The Dendera light makes one consider that our ancestors might have been way ahead of their time, lighting up the darkness with knowledge that we're only beginning to understand. Bog people. This unresolved mystery is from Northern Europe's wet and misty lands. It's all about mysterious bodies found hidden under the ground in places called peat bogs. People started finding these ancient bodies, known as bog bodies, way back in the 1800s. What's super strange and interesting is how these bodies didn't rot away. The bogs, which are really cold and full of acid, kept them almost like they were just sleeping. A lot of those bog bodies came from a time we call the Iron Age, and they often have old-time jewelry with them. This makes some people think they were put there on purpose, maybe for some old rituals or as gifts to the gods. But here's where it gets a bit spooky. Many of these bodies look like they had a rough time before they ended up in the bog. They have marks and wounds that make it seem like they were hurt or punished. So some people wonder if these were people who got into trouble or broke the rules, and being put in the bog was their punishment. Who these bog people really were and why they ended up in the bogs is a big question mark. Were they chosen for something important? Or were they just hidden away to be forgotten? Every time someone finds a new bog body, it's like a new clue in a big puzzle from the past. But solving this puzzle is tough. It's a mystery that keeps us guessing and makes us want to know more about the people who lived a long, long time ago. Riddle of the Sphinx. The Sphinx, a creature that captures the imagination with its lion's body and human head, is a figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue. While most famous in Greek and Egyptian lore, the Sphinx's image is found far and wide, from the sands of Egypt to the ancient artworks of India and Thailand. This widespread depiction begs the question, could the Sphinx have been more than just a mythical creature? Could it have been real? Across cultures, the Sphinx is consistently portrayed with remarkable similarity, a testament to its powerful and universal symbol. In Egypt, the majestic Sphinx of Giza gazes eternally across the desert, its human face atop a lion's body, a symbol of wisdom and strength. The Greeks spoke of their own Sphinx, a guardian of the city of Thebes, who challenged passers-by with riddles on pain of death. Yet, despite these vivid accounts and representations, no physical remains of such a creature have ever been discovered. The mystery deepens. The idea that the Sphinx might have walked the earth is a tantalizing one. How could so many different civilizations spread across the globe come to envision such a similar entity? Was there a real creature that inspired these myths? Or did ancient peoples share and adapt the legend through centuries of trade and interaction? The absence of physical evidence adds to the enigma. Unlike the dinosaurs, which left behind bones to tell their tale, the Sphinx remains elusive, known only through stone carvings and stories passed down through generations. This lack of remains fuels speculation and wonder. Perhaps the Sphinx, like the creatures of our deepest myths, existed in a form that defies our understanding of the natural world. The Lost Land of Punt Mystery. This enigmatic kingdom is woven throughout ancient Egyptian writings, depicted as a place rich in ivory, gold, and exotic animals that seem to spring from the pages of fairy tales. Punt was not just any kingdom. It was an economic powerhouse, revered to such an extent by the ancient Egyptians that they called it God's land. Despite its frequent mentions and the deep respect it commanded, the exact location of the land of Punt remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Our knowledge about Punt is limited to what the ancient Egyptians documented, leaving us to piece together the clues they left behind. In a fascinating turn of detective work, scientists have turned to the study of two mummified baboons, believed to be gifts from Punt to Egypt, in hopes of uncovering where this mythical kingdom might have been located. By analyzing these remains, researchers aim to determine whether these animals originated from what is now modern-day Eritrea or eastern Ethiopia, regions speculated to be part of, or at least close to, Punt's territory. Next on our list of ancient mysteries that continue to puzzle us is the Shroud of Turin. This artifact holds a place of deep reverence and ongoing debate within the Christian faith due to its haunting image resembling a Christ-like figure, complete with bloodstains and markings. These features have fueled beliefs that the shroud could be the very cloth that wrapped Jesus after his crucifixion. The intrigue surrounding the Shroud of Turin deepened significantly in the late 19th century, when the first ever photograph of the shroud revealed a negative image that showed a previously unseen face. This discovery thrust the shroud into a whirlwind of controversy and devotion, sparking discussions that have lasted well into modern day. However, not everyone is convinced of the shroud's authenticity. In response to the heated debate, the Church has taken a neutral stance, encouraging the faithful to view the shroud as an inspirational representation of Christ, rather than a relic to be disputed. The Shroud of Turin first made its appearance in historical records around the 1350s. The linen cloth, measuring 4.4 meters in length, is thought by many as the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, bearing the faint image of a man with wounds that align with the biblical account of the crucifixion. Despite being a topic of intense scrutiny and debate between religious believers and the scientific community for over 6 centuries, the true origins and nature of the Shroud of Turin remain a captivating mystery. Is it an authentic relic of ancient history or a medieval creation? Fall of the Mayans. For nearly 2 millennia, the Mayan civilization was a beacon of progress and innovation. They constructed sprawling cities that housed hundreds of thousands, mastered astronomy, developed a sophisticated writing system, and erected monumental structures that still inspire awe today. Their concept of time was so advanced, they even had a term for a 400-year period. Yet despite all these achievements, their society collapsed, leaving the world to wonder the reasons behind their sudden downfall. Theories attempting to explain the Mayan collapse are plentiful. Some suggest overpopulation stretched their resources too thin. Others propose internal revolution or warfare tore them apart, while additional hypotheses include epidemic disease or prolonged drought as the culprits. However, despite the abundance of theories, the true cause remains shrouded in mystery. The sudden departure from their cities and the swift decline of a civilization that had endured for thousands of years is one of history's great riddles. So what do you think about these mysteries? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. See you in the next video. Until then, best wishes.